There was a radio personality once upon a time. Her name was Wendy Williams, and she was practically burned at the stake for talking about such. And now it's all come full circle.
Going on here, because in order to climb the ranks like these people do, they gotta get put through stuff like this right here. They gotta be embarrassed. They gotta be humiliated in order to climb up. So this is why you see stuff like this happening right here.
Part of the ritual is wearing a dress. Then we should be able to look through entertainment and see all of these people being made to wear a dress. That's what a ritual is. You know what I mean? Like, whether they're white or black, that doesn't matter. There's not other jobs where this is a requirement. Why is this? Why is this so necessary?
Michael B. Jordan's Oscar win has sparked controversy, with some people claiming it was part of a larger humiliation ritual. According to rumors, the backlash isn't entirely baseless, as some believe the incident at the BAFTAs played a role in securing his win. During that event, both Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo were verbally attacked when a man, identified as John Davidson, shouted a racial slur while they were on stage. Despite having time to edit it out, the broadcast still aired the moment, which raised serious concerns. Some people attempted to defend the incident by claiming the man has Tourette syndrome, a condition involving involuntary vocal tics. While that may explain the outburst, many still feel an apology was necessary, especially given the severity of the word used. Critics also pointed out how convenient the timing was, as it occurred while two black actors were on stage. The situation grew even more suspicious when other clips were reportedly edited out, yet this one remained. Many felt that something didn't add up. At the same time, discussions around industry figures like Chadwick Boseman and Wendy Williams were also brought into the conversation, further fueling speculation about how the entertainment industry operates behind the scenes.
But we have to talk about what exactly happened at the BAFTAs, because it's complicated while at the same time not being complicated at all. So as you guys well know, Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo were presenting an award at the ceremony when the N-word was yelled at them multiple times by John Davidson. Now here's where it's complicated. John is actually a man living with Tourette syndrome. In fact, the only reason why he was at the BAFTAs was because a biopic about his life titled I Swear was nominated. In fact, Robert Aramayo, who plays him in the movie, took home the Best Actor award, ironically beating Michael B. Jordan in that category. Now the only thing complicated about all this all has to do with John and whether or not the BAFTAs were right in putting him in this situation where something like this was more than likely to happen. And I'm not going to put the blame solely on John for this. Like, one, I don't know the ins and outs of the Tourette syndrome, so I'm not going to speak on that. And two, I don't know the man, I don't know his heart, I don't know how that thing works and how it affects who he is versus what he says. And I don't want to have the conversation of whether or not do we let people with disabilities into these certain spaces.
But here's where things get interesting. Even though a lot of people were upset, the situation seemed to work in Michael B. Jordan's favor. In fact, it worked so well that some people began to question whether the entire incident was staged as a humiliation ritual to boost his chances of winning. These allegations gained even more attention when Charlamagne Tha God weighed in, accusing Michael and his team of allegedly paying a significant amount of money to have John carry out the act.
Hasn't had a good Oscar campaign. Now, the best thing that happened to Michael B. Jordan, the best thing that happened to Sinners, was hiring that guy to say at the BAFTAs.
What a take.
That was the best thing. That was the best PR.
Just slow down for a second. I just want to give you
Best PR.
because now the Oscars like, man, if we don't give it to him,
You see what I'm saying? He changed the tide. You get the guy.
momentum was going with Timmy,
It was going to me. You get the plant to go there at the Tourette's joint.
and that's why they probably left it in the edit, even though they cut out the other
You
stuff.
see what I'm saying? Yells
Now
out,
he wins the
nigga.
Oscar. You go take that little BAFTA. Whoever got the BAFTA,
Michael. No. He didn't win the BAFTA. Michael won the SAG, which increased his chances of winning the Oscar.
Now, I don't know where Charlamagne Tha God got all that information from, but if it's true, then the so-called humiliation ritual clearly worked. Right after the BAFTAs, Timothée Chalamet's odds of winning Best Actor at the 2026 Oscars reportedly declined significantly. Another reason people believe this theory is because several industry whistleblowers, including Wendy Williams, Cat Williams, and Dave Chappelle, have spoken about similar claims in the past. According to these discussions, individuals who speak out often face backlash, which later fuels even more speculation. Some also point to older Hollywood patterns, claiming that in the 1990s, certain controversial or unusual roles were seen as stepping stones for black actors' careers. Examples often mentioned include Will Smith after his Oscar win, Lupita Nyong'o for her role in 12 Years a Slave, Halle Berry for her Oscar-winning performance, and Jennifer Hudson following personal tragedy. Dave Chappelle also added to these conversations during a 2006 interview with Oprah Winfrey, where he discussed an incident involving producers and a request that made him uncomfortable during a project with Martin Lawrence.
I'm a conspiracy theorist to a degree. Like when I connect dots that maybe shouldn't be connected, I don't know. But certain dots, like when I see that they put every black man in the movies in a dress at some point in their career, I'll be connecting them down like, wow, these brothers gotta wear a dress. This happened to me. And I'm not wearing no dress, man. I'm funnier than a dress. Just give me something funny to say. I don't need to wear no dress to be funny. The director comes, Dave, it really would be great if you wear the dress. Oh gosh, this guy's so difficult. They leave. Now the producers comes, come on, David, would be so great. I mean, and then I started thinking about it. All the comics that I've seen, man, you know, strong brothers, why they be putting us in these dresses?
Kevin Hart was later asked in an interview what he thought about the claims made by Dave Chappelle. He responded by saying that he would never wear a dress. However, just a few months later, he appeared on Saturday Night Live wearing a dress and a wig.
Dave Chappelle, another great comedian, said that, you know, in the industry, they tried to make him wear a dress. Have you ever ran into that with scripts? And is there something that, you know, you wouldn't do, you know, for
I definitely haven't ran into to put on the dress. I mean, you know, you have to have boundaries. You have to have limits that you refuse to cross. I'm a brand. You need to protect your brand at all times. When things happen that can possibly affect your brand, your brand can be diminished.
The new pope is 9-year-old Oscar nominee Quvenzhané Wallis.
Wow. I wore a dress on SNL because I thought it was funny. I made that decision, nobody made it for me. I am my own boss, said Kevin Hart. Later on, Cat Williams was asked for his opinion on Kevin wearing a dress. He responded by saying that Kevin shouldn't be blamed for that choice, suggesting instead that he was just another name on a long list of black male entertainers who have allegedly been pressured into doing so as a stepping stone to achieve greater levels of stardom.
At the end of the day, Kevin doesn't have to worry about what people are going to say about him wearing a dress because of the long line of dress-wearing people before him. So now we have Big Mama's house 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
I've never seen Medea in a pantsuit. I think she wears dresses. So now I'm saying, why are we picking on poor little Kevin Hart? Because it was his turn next.
Now, as for Wendy Williams, she has alluded to these ideas several times. She has spoken about how some rappers bend, if you know what that means, to get ahead, and how certain celebrities take on demeaning roles because they promise major awards. Since Wendy is currently in a guardianship, she hasn't been able to make public appearances at these events, but that doesn't mean she isn't watching. According to rumors, she followed everything that happened and believes Michael B. Jordan's award was a result of him humiliating himself. Now, I don't know about you, but Wendy has been in the industry for a long time, and she understands how these things supposedly work. So, some people are choosing to take her word for it, at least until she returns to TV to explain her perspective more clearly. In the meantime, people online have been sharing their opinions. One person claimed that Michael B. Jordan received the Oscar because of the BAFTA incident, suggesting it was some form of apology. Another said that while he is a phenomenal actor, the win felt like a sympathy award, accusing the Academy of virtue signaling. But now the question is yours. What do you think about Wendy and other industry insiders suggesting that black male entertainers are pushed into so-called humiliation rituals to advance their careers? And do you believe the BAFTA incident was staged to influence the Oscars? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. And don't forget to click here to watch this other very messy video.